And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justin Nimergood. I am the host of the Real Estate Rockstars podcast. I am so thrilled and excited today for the guest that we have on, Mr. Jay Ngo, someone I'm proud to call not only a colleague, but a mentor and a friend. Just a little bit about Jay before we get into our fun conversation here today. Jay is a dynamic entrepreneurial leader with over 2 decades of experience in the real estate and mortgage industries. His expertise spans business operations, development, management, and administration, making him a trusted leader in these fields. Renowned for his leadership and innovative strategies, Jay has steered companies toward nationwide growth, setting new standards of excellence. From pivotal roles in groundbreaking startups to leadership positions in multi-billion-dollar national franchise brands, he consistently drives exceptional results, leaving a lasting impact on the industry. Passionate about business, building businesses, Jay is equally dedicated to mentoring his teams and peers, striving to create a legacy defined by innovation, leadership, and success. As the president of the Epic Realty Executive Advisory Board and member of the founding members board, Jay continues to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the industry. Notably, he also holds the distinction of being the first California state managing broker. With his deep industry knowledge and unwavering commitment to excellence, Jay is a catalyst for success, empowering real estate professionals to achieve their goals. It's without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Jay Ngo to the show. Welcome, Jay.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Wow, that was quite an intro. Even I would hire myself now.
Hey, man, that's straight from your LinkedIn. So neither here nor there. Jay, I think what I would like to open up with for today is I'd like to understand how and what sort of triggered you to get into the real estate industry, however long ago. Love to hear that journey, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, that goes way back. I'm trying to think back now. So that's about 22, 23 years ago. I was very fortunate. So my father actually is a real estate broker. He's also a mortgage broker as well. He's not active in the business. He's more focused on the back end side of things. My two uncle, who I'm also very close to, they were both real estate agents themselves, but also active investor, as is my father as well. So for me, real estate wasn't something that I was looking to do or to be part of as a career necessarily. Initially,
Mhm.
it was really the investment aspect of it that got me kind of excited and wanted and really grabbed my attention. So I got into real estate by accident, and I tell the story
Mm.
before, and it's kind of funny because I started off with investment and investment without even a real estate license, because you don't need to be licensed to be an investor if you are the investor. And so that kind of catapulted and really created more curiosity as I kind of learned more about the business. And I got to a point where it just made sense, where I said to myself, you know what? This is something I can do. And this is something I understand. This is something I'm passionate about. But then the other aspect of why I dove into real estate is because, for those who know me, I also have an educational background as well, yeah,
Mhm.
where I was at one point a teacher, a principal, and as such as well. And the education part, the giving, the showing, the mentoring, that was a big part of what I did. And so
Mhm.
understanding all that, one of the first thing that I did, when I got into real estate, almost immediately within the first year or two, was starting to build on my team. That enabled me to then start to teach and mentor and coach and whatnot, and that just kind of stuck all along the time. So for me, it was never just real estate for the sake of real estate, and it wasn't just working with buyers and sellers, which is awesome, and I enjoyed that part. But the other part of it is that I got to work with agents and help and see
Mm.
and watch them and help them grow themselves in the business of real estate. So for me, it's been literally from day one. That's how I've seen it.
You've known, like, you're one of those people out there that just knows what you're good at. You know what you're passionate about, and that's exactly what you focus on from the jump, as they say, right? Um,
100%, 100%. I have this, I'm well known for saying this. You should absolutely know where your strengths lie. I think that's very important to know, how good you are and what you're good at, right? But even more importantly, you got to know what your weaknesses are. And so
mm,
for me, I'm very in tune with those things and trust me, there's a lot of weaknesses and there's still a lot of holes, but I'm happy where I'm at. And you're right. You're right. I saw exactly what I thought. At least I thought at the time that I was effective at, and I would be good at doing. So I just kind of hone on that.
And now it seems like it's just grown to expanded opportunities all over the place, touching the real estate industry by and whole. Speaking of the real estate industry, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of speculation about interest rates. There's a lot of speculation about this and that. I'd be curious, just what are you seeing, and what are you seeing that's coming forth? What should we be prepared for from a real estate industry perspective?
Yeah. So that question, every time when I get that question, I always kind of pull back over the last few years. We know about the whole cyclical part of the real estate market, right? It goes up, it goes down, it changes, every so often. Typically, it's every few years. Certainly, if you look at more at a more detailed level, it certainly can also change even in the seasonal aspects as well. But typically, as far as the economy and whatnot, it's a couple of years. Um,
Mhm.
I think a big part of what happened recently with the whole NAR settlement and the changes in the law and the expectation, and certainly how you speak of commission and whatnot, has affected a lot throughout the industry nationwide. So people, especially agents who were never really in a position who didn't really focus on the listings side of it, are now finding themselves in a position where they are working with buyers and can't use the same tagline, the same explanation, the same approach anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And there's definitely some of that that's happening, and I definitely have seen a lot of agents exit the business. I mean, it's kind of
Mhm.
extreme, but they have exited the business because they simply couldn't keep up with the business anymore at this point in time, because they didn't have to build they didn't build the skill set, and or perhaps not even willing to actually implement the new skill sets that are needed to be able to be successful in this type of business. Now,
Mhm.
the other part is also, I think the industry as a whole, beside the actual legal aspect of it, the industry as a whole has changed. We talk about this whole brick and mortar aspect of it and now evolving, and in some cases even revolving into a situation where now it's more focused on the cloud-based and virtual brokerage. That's just the model these days that makes sense for everyone. It brings more value for the agent, and from the agent perspective, they have more, right? More in terms of equity, more in terms of ability to actually create additional revenue streams that can benefit them and their family. You know, I use this word legacy all the time. So
Mhm.
these newer models are basically allowing agents to build a legacy around what they're doing, although what they've been doing sometimes for even decades at this point. So the business model has changed certainly as well. But from another perspective, is that certainly the economy has also taken a slight hit as well. Now, the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is, any one of those three things are going to happen at any point in time in history and will continue to happen going forward. So you, as an agent, the best way that you can prepare for this is really be, well, up to speed on things. Make sure that you are aligned with the right company that also promotes those things as well. But then also spend a lot of time training and understanding, so that you understand, so that you have the information to be able to more effectively navigate the business as it goes forward. The business is not going to stop evolving. The agent
Mhm.
may, but the business is not going to. And at a certain point, eventually, what you're going to find as an agent who is not, evolving or continue to grow with the business, you're going to be left behind. So I think it's really important that we always, make sure that people understand that it's always evolving all the time. And the agent ourselves, we need to evolve with the business now.
Mm. That's so well said. And for all our listeners out there, Jay obviously has led multiple large organizations, most notably now, we're both at a wonderful brokerage called Epic, which is cloud based, which I feel very grateful to be a part of. And, as you said, right, the company has to evolve with it, as well. And I think, I'm sure you see it, Jay, firsthand. There's a mark, I see it as well, there's a market delineation between brokerages that are thinking, forward thinking, if you will, and the ones that
Yeah.
I would say are kind of stuck in the past.
Hmm. Well,
And
I mean, when you say stuck, I also want to kind of mention this as well, because I think that sometimes the stuck part isn't by choice. Sometimes,
mm,
what they have But simply, and there are limitations to integration as well. Sometimes that put them at a disadvantage, and it's not necessarily something that they don't want to grow or not, evolve. It's just simply they can't. This is why something, as you mentioned, like Epic Royalty, has been just such a standout. I don't know of any other brokerage. I mean, I'm truly very passionate about Epic because I don't know of any other brokerage in which they are doing for its agents what Epic is doing day in and day out, and is continuing to do and add more. That's the really bunkered things about it, is that with Epic, even where we're at is already just ridiculously amazing. Epic is not even done, not even close to being done.
No. No, yeah, it's definitely a blessing, and I feel very grateful to wake up every day and be part of this movement that we have. It's a community, it's a movement. It's just so fun and exciting to be a part of, to your point. And very fortunate. Let me ask you, because you wear a lot of hats, Jay, right? You're a mentor,
Yeah,
you're a leader, you're on the board, advisory board. I mean, you're wearing like 15 different hats all the time, right? Can you
right.
walk us through as much as you can anyway? Can you walk us through your typical day? What's a
Oh
typical day
wow.
of Jay?
Oh wow. Yeah. I know. I tell people I don't want to share with you what my schedule looks like visually, what it looks like, because it's literally just it's super colorful, and there's almost no gap anywhere. In fact, you see probably a lot of overlaps of various different things. But yeah, I mean, a typical day for me. So I'm an early riser. I get up without even the alarm. So I have my alarm set up at 5:30 in the morning. Today, perfect example. It wasn't 5 o'clock. It was around 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. I think it was, but it was definitely around 4 or earlier this morning. I woke up, look at the clock. I'm like, oh man, it's too early. Need to try to maybe lay back down and get some more Z's. I'm an early riser because I like to get my days going. Always
Mhm.
100%, 7 days a week. Been doing this since September 2005. One of the first thing I do is get out there and do either a jog, a workout, whatever. That is literally 7 days a week, 365 days a year, nonstop, rain or shine. It happens. Doesn't matter if I'm, at home for that week or if I'm traveling that week. But it is happening, rain or shine. Second part of that is once that's done, I oftentimes I would say probably 4 day out of the week. So the work week, 4 out of 5 days. I am usually starting my day as far as meetings and whatnot right about 7:30 in the morning, and then it's literally back to back meetings all the
Wow.
way until about 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I usually wind down my day with another nice walk, or maybe run, but typically a walk in the evening of about another 3 to 4 or 5 miles, and then during that walk, I actually am on the phone chatting with folks all across the U.S. Wrapping up the day if they needed that, or even planning for the next day. So that happens literally every day. I am, it's almost at an OCD level in a healthy way. But as you can tell, the smile on my face, I love this stuff, and I wouldn't change one thing in my schedule.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You hear all the time about like the level of discipline of the Navy SEALs and some of these, and obviously Marines, Navy SEALs,
Yeah,
all these different armed forces folks, and then same with some of the great business leaders, and you definitely are someone I'd put in that category. I mean, the level of
I
discipline is
appreciate that.
there, and it's no wonder you're so successful and so influential in the industry. I'm curious, right? What is maybe one of your I'd love to hear a story, about triumph of working with someone that was just extremely difficult to work with, and maybe it's a mentorship, uh, you know, reference, or maybe it's an actual client. I'll leave that up to you. But it was just absolutely ridiculously challenging. You never thought you'd get through to them, but you somehow found the way, and you're able to kind of overcome those obstacles and show them the light, so to speak, show them the J light.
Yeah. I will tell you, I have a when I ever get that kind of or that type of a question, there's one person in particular. I've told her a couple of times, but I don't think she understands how much I value my interaction with her. I hope she hears this as well. Her name is Deborah. Deborah
Mm,
Pugsley. She's a real estate agent out of Sacramento. um, she gave me permission to share some of her backstory, and you understand why in a second. I do this now. She didn't give me permission to share it on this particular podcast, but she just gave
mhm.
me kind of a blanket ability to share this because I asked her a couple of times in the past. She came to now. It's not necessarily Epic, but just her as an individual. But she did come to Epic Realty about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year ago at this point in time. She reached out. We had a chat. And at the time, she was looking to really give up on real estate altogether and maybe even
Oh,
give
wow.
up on just doing life. And I'm not saying like, nothing like that, but just like, it's like life sucks, everything's not going my way. It's just a horrible mess. And I just want to kind of give up on things. Right. She was at that point, and certainly she was ready to walk out of real estate altogether, finalize it, even though she's been in the business for literally decades. She was just ready to give it all up. She came in, was financially in a bind. Her
Mhm.
mother had cancer. She has cancer, both of them. I say has and still have. Her sister was dealing with some mental situation, disability. Her son was dealing with another medical issue, and then she was left to also take care of her niece, and her niece was heading off to college. She was at a very low point and did not care to hear about what Epic, or for that matter, anything that real estate had to offer her. I made an introduction to for her to someone else here at Epic Realty, and initially they did not get along. I mean, I heard complaints almost on the daily about it. It's like, why
Oh,
did you do that,
no.
Jay? Why did you introduce this? Fast forward, literally almost, I want to say maybe 6, 7 months after that, they somehow work things out and they kind of reconciled their relationship. And it came down to just misunderstanding. And also, I think factors that are beyond her control that have unfortunately made her feel a certain way to the relationship.
Mhm.
Uh, but that relationship led her to now become literally someone who was ready to give up altogether, and now is not only a power agent herself, she now has formulated a power team with the very same person that there was some disagreement with. And
Wow.
she's taking care of her niece, she's taking care of her mom, she's taking care of her sister. And so for her, when she says that she loves Epic, she says it in such a genuine and compassionate way because she truly, deeply means it. And so that, and dealing with her and having gone through that
Mhm.
was such a special event and special moment for me. So there was one point in time about a year ago where she was in the hospital with her mom, and she was telling me that her mom was there. So I said, "Hey, listen, can I say hi to your mom?" She literally had me on FaceTime with her mom while she was in the hospital,
Aw.
while she was getting treatment for herself and her mom. She said that was the moment that it changed everything for her. That there was people who cared, who like actually wanted it. And so when I am thinking about what we're doing here with this company, it is very powerful because it's powerful not because of what we're offering, even though we're offer what Epic, offer agents is just ridiculously, there's just no competition. It's unchallenged.
Yeah.
But more important thing that we offer here is that sense of belonging, that sense of family, that sense of compassion that I think a lot of larger brokerages, unfortunately, don't consider and they forget, or maybe they just simply kind of grew out of it. But Epic has made that the core of what Epic is. And that, because of what it is, it led me to be able to have this relationship with Deborah. And I have to tell you, her struggle, despite what I do, as you said, my schedule is pretty crazy and the stuff that I have done,
Mhm.
I still look at her as inspiration for me to do what I do every day.
Ugh. I
If she's not
mean
giving up, I'm not giving up.
I mean, how can you not with a story like
Right.
that? I mean, it just brings tears to your eyes just to hear someone having it's not just one thing, it's thing after thing after thing.
Right.
And it's as I've heard anyway, it's not how you react, it's how you respond in the
Oh,
world.
absolutely. She, like you said, it's one thing after another. She had many reasons, very, very good reason to give up, and she didn't. And that just is very inspirational to me.
Yeah, I mean, how can it not be to you, to everyone out there, for our listeners? I mean, if you hear that, you have no excuses, right? If this lady
Exactly.
can do it with all the trials and tribulations she was facing,
Hmm.
so God bless Deborah. I hope and wish her all the best. I hope, wish her all the best, and her mom and everyone in their recovery, of all that they're dealing with, up in NorCal there. Jay, we're going to switch gears here for a second, and we're going to enter into kind of the fun last part of our time together. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a couple forward-looking questions.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're meant to be fun. There's no right or wrong answer, so just have some fun with them. So the first one is this. Let's say it's your 80th birthday. Okay.
Okay.
Who is there? What's going on? How are you celebrating? Paint the picture for us of Jay's perfect 80th birthday.
Jay's perfect and 80th birthday would be, first of all, it's going to be a remote event. I love remote events, so you're going to have to get on a plane, get on a boat, perhaps even, or maybe multiple boats to get to the destination. Um, it is absolutely going to be filled with a lot of amazing folks, my friends, my family, the people who support us. And, it's kind of funny because as I'm doing what I'm doing, I've done it for so long now. My family is just not my family, right? My wife,
Mm,
my kids, my parents, my aunts and uncles, and nieces and nephews and whatnot. Literally, I've built a family and family members, I call them, way beyond, in this case, a bunch of them are at Epic for sure, but even way
mm,
beyond that as well. I have a lot of amazing folks all around the US and even around the world who I consider family because the genuine relationship that we have built.
mm,
When you make the right connection, you just feel it. You
mhm,
don't feel like you don't feel like they're expecting anything from you, and you're not really expecting anything from them,
mm.
right? When you're in a
Yeah,
room, you're just in the room.
you're just part of the vibe, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
neat.
but as far as, the fancy stuff and whatnot, if you know me well, and I think you know me well, Justin, I'm not a showy guy. I'm not that kind of guy to flash anything. So I just want to be barefooted in a t-shirt, in shorts, sitting under a coconut tree with all my buddies and friends.
That's just wonderful right there. Like, who wouldn't want that? Yeah, no fancy watches, no fancy cars, just
Right.
chilling out on some remote destination somewhere, right?
100%. Yep.
That's
Just taking in
fantastic.
the moment. That's it.
I think, of all the people, and I ask this question of pretty much everyone that comes on my podcast, and
Yeah.
everyone answers it very similarly, right? It's amazing how all the fancy, flashy stuff goes out the window when you start talking about, you know, your later years in life, I'll say, right? And what
Yeah.
starts to become really, really important to you.
Yeah.
So love hearing that. Okay, the second one's equally as fun. I think you'll have fun with this. So let's say it's your last day on Earth. The apocalypse is coming, the end of the world's coming, whatever you want to call it, but it's your last day on Earth, and you can only preserve 3 items in your
Mhm.
time capsule. These items will stay with you and carry on your legacy forever. What are
Yeah.
those items and why?
Wow. Okay. Items, not people, right? Items.
Well, I mean, yes, items, not people, correct.
Okay. 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 Because if you say people, then I would have to say my wife. Otherwise, we're gonna have some problem tonight. uh, but items, the very first one would be a very old Seiko watch. It doesn't work anymore, but it's a very old Seiko watch. It's not an expensive watch. The reason why it has such significance is because my father wore it. My father, when we left Vietnam, when we immigrated, through some tough traveling, he kept that watch. And later on, in when as we arrived and immigrated to the U.S., he gave me that watch as a reminder of what we went through. That's going to be another story for another day. But it's a very long story. But that's definitely something that I would keep. My father is a very clear man in what he wants to do. He's a
Mhm,
very go oriented man. He's also a man who is very ethical and very on the up and up, and will always do the right thing, even if you're giving him the opportunity to do the wrong thing. He will still do the right
mhm,
thing, even if
mhm.
no one is watching. That's the kind of person he is. So
Wow.
that'll be the very first one. The second one, I have a gold chain. Now you notice, and you see me multiple times in person, I don't
Yeah.
wear any necklace, but I do have a necklace, a gold necklace with a K on it. And that necklace was actually given to me by my mom when I was a
Oh.
teenager. It actually, part of the K actually broke off, but I still have it because, again, she, at the time, we are not a wealthy family, or we were not back then, anyways. And so for us, for her to actually be able to afford something like that to give to me at a time when we didn't have much money meant a lot, because that was her blood, sweat, and tears. That communicates to me very clearly that this is something that is special, is something that she poured into, and I want, and that is a very special thing to be held in my hand. The last thing is this ring on my finger.
Mhm.
Again, not a very expensive ring. My wife have offered to upgrade my ring, so to speak, many times, and I keep telling her, no, I like this very simple one. It's just a very simple ring. It's a gold ring. It's my wedding band. When I
Mhm.
made a promise to my wife 24 years ago that I'm here and I'm going to be by her side, I meant just that. Commitment to me, commitment to my family, commitment to the people that I serve, commitment to, in this case, Epic Royalty, committing my commitment to you, as we have obviously dealt with a couple of changes over the past few months. My commitment has always stayed fast and have been fully cleared in plain sight. I think that's very important. So this ring symbolizes more than just my marriage to my wife, of course, that I love. She's given me three beautiful kids, three amazingly beautiful kids with amazing, integrity. But she also, have also been one of my biggest supporter, if not my biggest supporter. She have literally seen me through all my wins, and
Mm.
certainly through the many failures that I've also endured as well. She has been by my side since day one. So this ring means
That's
a lot
beautiful.
more than just a piece of material that it's made of. So those are the three items.
That's beautiful, Jay. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing all that with our listeners out there, so they can feel a little bit more connected to you, and understand your story and your background. And clearly you're a man that's of high character, integrity, character, you name it. It's no wonder, your father obviously was that way. You clearly, took after him and have carried that on, as part of the family legacy. So, just in wrapping up with our final question, what
Mm.
is your definition of a real estate rock star?
Oh, okay. So my definition is not exactly the same as everyone else. Everyone else typically, well, not everyone else, but a lot of people would define that by the metrics, right? The numbers,
Mhm.
if you are doing the right numbers. I think a big part of it, and I hate to keep saying Epic, but Epic kind of opened my eyes, I think, because I've ran my own brokerage. I've been affiliated with some very large brands, national brands, international brands, even, right? Some of the largest
Mhm.
company in the world, both at involve throughout leadership levels with them as well. And one thing that has actually made me kind of readjust my alignment with how I think of success is not just
Mhm.
only success in the numbers. That's pretty clear. But the secondary part of it, and I think it's maybe even just as important, is what are you doing with people for them to also give them the ability to step up in where they think they're to level up to their potential. So many
Mm.
people are so focused on themselves and what they can achieve. They don't see that, that is just as powerful when you inspire others to also step up and achieve as well. And so for me, that is such a powerful thing. That is my one focus. That is truly, if I have to say, Justin, that is my one objective and my one goal, is to give people the ability to see their true potential, and not just see it, but, and again, I can't do things for people, but I can always
Mhm.
do it with them. And that's the
Mm.
key to all this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Y'all, if you were not taking feverish notes today, this was an absolute masterclass that Mr. J Ngo just dropped. I hope everyone was significantly tuned in here, listening, taking notes, taking this all in. This is what life is all about. It's about sharing on. It's about sharing knowledge, because knowledge is power. Or as you say, Jay, knowledge is potential power. Um,
There you go. Yeah.
Folks, there you have it. We have another wonderful episode of the Real Estate Rockstars in the books. We'll be here again, same time, same place next week. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. And end.